Hello, and welcome to your NARSA weekly update for the week commencing Monday, the 16th of February, 2025. It's Gary here again. Oh, I want so badly to get to the second game, but we have to kind of look at the week as a whole for this week, and it was a bit of a down and up week. Is that fair to say? We had the kind of blip there in midweek away to Motherwell. And then that was capped with an absolutely incredible game and result yesterday against the league leaders as well. So I'll get to that when I get to the game segment. But yeah, thank you very much, as always, for tuning in. Today it's Gary here, of course. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Do you know what I really liked yesterday? The atmosphere. You don't get to hear it or see or feel it quite so much on TV, of course, from 4,000 miles away here in Calgary, but you could just sense there was something a bit more special yesterday, and we've had this campaign, or Rangers have had this campaign for the last wee while with the Union Bears and the Copeland Collective and the Rangers Supporters Association and the Fan Advisory Board and such, getting together and doing joint statement. The joint statement that says let's really promote supporter engagement here, and they did a great job. That even when we lost those 2 goals yesterday, it was, the fans were like, no, our job is not to get upset or frustrated or anything right now. Our job is to get behind the team and give them everything we've got so that they can give everything they've got. And that's really what worked. We had 21 people at the club yesterday here in Calgary. 21, absolutely brilliant. I think that's one of the bigger crowds since probably cup final days that we've enjoyed over the last wee while. So yeah, really, really good. And of course, a wee bit of a later kickoff, so we got a couple of beers, and that spilled into being quite a long day, to be perfectly honest, which ended up with me on the couch very early in the evening. Was from a morning drinking perspective. Oh, it's been a long day, folks. I don't mind telling you that. It has been a long day. You know what I've said? Actually, do you know what I was saying yesterday? And I think it compounds what I've been saying on the podcast for the last wee while here, is that if we win this, I mean, it's genuinely exciting, I think, and I don't think it's like anything I've ever seen in my time supporting Rangers, which is over 40 years, and I haven't known this level of excitement, and just to add up all the drama that's happened in the season, in terms of how badly it started, and I maintain that if we win this league this season, this will be the greatest comeback in Scottish footballing history, bar none, absolutely bar none, and I maintain that. We've got 11 games to go. It's in our hands. If we win 11 games on the spin, we win the league. It's as simple as that, and we need to go with that sort of mindset. Is it out of the question we're going to win 11 games? Possibly, probably, because obviously we get the top 5 split, or the top 6 split, sorry, and we've got that, these difficult games to play again, but play to the levels that we played at yesterday in certain spells of the game, and we're certainly going to win more than we've lost. I was looking at the league table this morning. 10 draws we've had out of, what would that be, 27 games, and we've drawn 10 of them, and we're still right in the middle of the fight, literally and figuratively right in the middle of the title fight as well. So yeah, exciting times. So I'll get through the game segment here as quickly as I can, especially the first one, which was a wee bit of a downer. But it's one of these things, you know what like, and I've said this before on the pod, the team, the club, the manager has a real way of being able to stir emotions in us without even a ball being kicked, through the team lineup. And when the team lineup came on Wednesday, it was the first time, for me anyway, under Danny Rowell's short reign as the manager, that I was thinking before it, I think you've got this one wrong, Danny. Like, I don't know what you're seeing. And I think it was the first time. I know that he's always very much saying it's one game at a time. And it looks like that's what he's doing and drumming into the players. That was the first time on Wednesday night that it felt like, and it looked like, that he had one eye on Sunday's game as well as Wednesday's game. And it just didn't look like a strong lineup. It didn't feel like a strong lineup. And then I thought the game was, it was obviously a disappointing 1-1 draw. It was almost a carbon copy of what happened in the first game of the season, where we've got the lead, we're doing all right, we're doing what we need to do to get the points, and then we lose a late equaliser, which is just not good enough. In the game, the quality of the game wasn't that great, but the excitement for me factor was there. It was in the first half, especially. I don't think we played very well at all in the entire game. Actually, it was one of the poorer games, and I was starting to get a wee bit worried, quite honestly, because we did okay. We did what we needed to do against Kilmarnock in the second half primarily, but we had the draw. We just had a couple of bad, not great games, maybe not bad games, not great games before that, and you're starting to and it's very nervous. We're nervy. We're looking to do desperately, looking to do well in each of these games and get the points. And it would have been monumental to have got the victory there and then got the victory on Sunday and then went to the top of the league just by virtue of being there. And then it's everyone else's job to chase us. But it was not to be, not this week anyway, and not this past week. But yeah, not a lot of quality, but a riveting game, I thought. And we got the opener, a brilliant move from the back, actually, from that sweeping move that we got where Raskin got the goal. And Diamande plays a great ball across to Raskin. Raskin does brilliantly then after that to get the ball in the back of the net. We're doing really well. Chermiti's got a chance after that. And Raskin has a brilliant goal line clearance. Like how he managed to get that away on the line was just absolutely incredible. And I wonder if he would maybe have got a foul had he not gotten it away the way that he got it away. I'm not sure, but it was that was to keep it at 1-0. It was absolutely brilliant. And we get some last gasp defending from Suter on more than one occasion actually in the game and at the post, and Chermiti, as I said, had the chance, and it's 1-0 at half time, and all right, let's go on and try and win this game, convincingly win this game. But the second half, the energy level in the second half just wasn't where it should have been, was it? It was one of these ones where you're kind of waiting and something happen rather than going and creating what you need to do to be able to get that quality to win the game. And then of course we get that opportunity, that what would you say, I was going to say lifeline, that's not the right word, but we get that advantage where their fellow gets sent off straight red for the foul on Mikey Moore, a terrible foul that, by the way, absolutely shocking challenge. And then in the immediate aftermath, I thought we were kind of like, right, okay, we're managing this a wee bit, but we just don't seem to know how to play against 10 players. And I don't know if that's something that you can actually practice or train in, but a lot of it for me seems to be mentality. We struggled in the first half against Kilmarnock when it was the exact same situation, and it's just one of these weird situations where you're kind of we're going further and further back, then we make these weird substitutions that looks like we're trying to protect the lead, which gives them more space and opportunity to be able to try and attack the goal, and then of course the goal comes when we're trying to protect the lead, and we make an absolute complete and utter mess of it, and they get that equaliser again, and it compounds when we've got the later kickoff on that day, and we know already that Hearts have scored late and that mob have scored late again to win the games, and that's a big. We can't afford that. That's a big shift. Now, the one caveat to that is that Motherwell are doing really well this season, and they're probably going to take points off of the other two teams that were fighting for the title with. So in that respect, it's going to, hopefully it levels itself out, evens itself out. But felt like it was there for the taking, and we didn't have the gusto, we didn't have the invention, we didn't really take the game by the scruff of the neck and do what we needed to do to win it, which was disappointing. In terms of the positives, the first goal was brilliant, absolutely. Some great defending, and I think I just basically answered the positives thing there at the end of the summary. Is that I think that'll be, we'll look at that point and say, what, that was actually a really good point that we got at Motherwell in the middle of February there, and it might be something that helps us win the league championship, because not every team is going to Fir Park. I mean, that goal that we scored was their first goal that they had lost there since October. So there's certainly positives from that. Obviously a bit disappointing that we lose the late equaliser. So, but in terms of the negatives, the late equaliser, I didn't think we played well. I didn't think we played well at all. I thought it was a really disjointed performance overall, and I think it just didn't click on the day, and it's too bad, because I think if we had matched on football for football, I think we would have won it, especially with our absolute first team out there. But Danny Rule doesn't always get it right, and he's a human, and I think he would probably be one to admit that he probably could have maybe made a better or a different selection that would have given us a better opportunity to win the game. But it's always a sickener when you lose a late goal, a material late goal like that. But he's the manager of the month for January for a reason. We've been on an incredible run under his charge, so maybe he gets a wee bit of a pass on that. The stats said that we had 36% possession. 36. like that would be like if we played Barcelona, we would have 36, and it's only Motherwell. Come on, guys! But that's we were quite happy to give up possession and such, and we had 8 shots on goal with 4 on target. They had 10 shots on goal with 5 on target. Kind of felt like that in terms of the run of play for the game. In terms of the ref watch, I thought Stephen McLean had a rough night. I really do. He, like many referees, seems to have his yellows super handy for any Rangers fouls, and he seems to forget where they are when it comes to the opposition fouls on this occasion, obviously being Motherwell's. And, he didn't give it initially the red card, but he did fair play. He did go and look at the VAR and say, right, okay, it's actually a red now. And then here's the thing that annoys me, because they'll put up, he was trying to shove the guys off when they were substituting. It was a wee bit slower and things like that. And then he's saying, I'm going to add the time on. I'll add the time on. He adds on 6 minutes. One of their guys gets cramp, not long after they've equalised, surprise, surprise. And the time is dwindling down and he doesn't add it on at the end. In fact, I think he blew the whistle 3 seconds before the 6 minutes or something like that. So what's that about? You're either adding it on or you're not. Or you're adding it on when it suits you when you need the other team to do something or whatever it is. I'm not sure. So he's going to get a 5 out of 10 for that. I'm actually going to be a wee bit more harsh on the referees from this point in, because what they're doing is material to our chances of winning this league, and I don't think it's fair, and I don't think these guys are being fair, and it's not good enough. So yeah, 5 out of 10 for him. Yesterday's 4-2 victory at home to Hearts does well for the goal difference. We're level on goal difference with Hearts now. I think we're 4 ahead of that mob, something like that. Again, incredible when we haven't really been that high scoring for the time, but we've got a lot of clean sheets, and when you get clean sheets, that's really good for your goal difference as well. And yeah, it was a good game, great atmosphere, like I mentioned at the top of the show, and a bit of a cagey start for both teams, and then we just the 2 goals were a gift yesterday, especially the first. Like, I watched it on replay, just on the highlights again this morning, and what Fernandez was doing when Raskin's not even looking at him is absolutely unbelievable. Like, just talk about a brain fart. He just wasn't looking at all, passes it straight to their player. How many times have I said this? Other teams are so ruthless against us, and we're not against them when we get any gifts or any errors that are forced or unforced. Just bizarre, beyond bizarre. The first goal, great finish. The guy absolutely leathered it, and Butland didn't have a chance at that. And then the great thing was, though, that the fans, as I said, we just kept on side, and then we got the goal. It was like a stramash, wasn't it? in the box, and good for Naderi, just making himself a nuisance in there. I thought the guy had kicked it off of him to get it in there. But no, he just sclaffed it into his own net. But Naderi, he wouldn't have done that if Naderi wasn't putting pressure on. But it was a brilliant save by the goalie from a Chermiti header. And then I think, was it Raskin? I think it was Mikey Moore had the follow-up shot that was in super slow motion, hit the bar, and then it came down and the boy put it in. So, and that's only 3 minutes later. So that's massive, because then we get the lift from that. Then of course, we lose a goal. Looked a mile offside from open play. So you're like, no sweat, this will come back. And it wasn't offside at all. So we end up not defending that one very well, and giving the guy way too much space for the cross in the header, and Suter was all at sea for that. And Butland, it didn't look good the way that Butland just kind of let it go in, but I don't think he had a chance to get it. But when you're not even making an attempt, I don't know. I wasn't hugely a fan of that. But then the Yusuf Chermiti, and after there's people in the club saying, get him off. And then he goes on and scores an absolutely brilliant hat-trick. The first one takes a wee bit of fortune there, because he's trying to square it back to Nadiri, who'd given him the ball in the first place, and then he gets a chance to get it slotted home. And the second one, a brilliant header, great cross from Scove Wilson. And that's a power header right there. That's what I thought we were signing Nadiri for. But Chermiti's saying, hey, I'm still here, boys and girls. So that was brilliant as well. And then what about Gassama for that third goal? He just never gave up, and he's looked a wee bit petulant when he's been getting subbed over the last wee while. So I don't know if the manager's had a word with him or whatever, but you don't know if you've got a sulker here, someone that's maybe not going to give us all because he's in a wee bit of a huff at not being playing. And he comes on, and what an impact he made. He broke 2 or 3 tackles. He's running. You're kind of like, is he going to take it all the way himself? Brilliant ball to Chermiti, and an absolutely superb finish. The place is absolutely bouncing. I can't remember the last time I was going to say, I can't remember the last time someone got a hat trick for us, and Tav did. Tav did. So it's been a week. It's been a long time since we had that. But, absolutely brilliant for the big man, because he's had his, he has had his troubles to seek here, and that price tag is weighed very heavy on him, certainly in the beginning part of the season. But he's scoring big goals in big games. The Old Firm game, and then he went a wee bit on a dry spell, and then a hat trick against the league leaders. I mean, that's highlight reel stuff there. If his agent is going to be scouting him around, around about the World Cup or after the World Cup time, he's got some good footage there to show. We just need him to do that in other games as well. I mean, he could have almost had one against Motherwell, and I would have put the game to 2-0 and then probably beyond them. But yeah, great, absolutely fantastic play by everybody. Everybody really played a part yesterday, I thought, and it was really, really good. So in terms of the positives, the result, absolutely, the 3 points and closing the gap, we're within a game. Now, if they have a bad day and we have a good day, we are top of the league there, and really within touching distance is a big, big deal for us. It really is, giving us that opportunity to say, could be this weekend. If it's not this weekend, it might be next weekend. And interestingly, McInnes in his post-match interview said just that we've still to get them at Tynecastle. And yes, they gave us a do, and it was only 2-1 at the end of the game, of course, back in December. But that was our last real stink bomb of a game. We've had a couple of ropey halves, and maybe the Motherwell wasn't our best, but it wasn't as bad as we were against Hearts that day. That was a real genuine watershed moment for us. So his assumption that the result is going to be the same come post-split time, we'll see. We'll see, Derek. I don't know about that, my man. So we'll see what that looks like. In terms of the negatives, the 2 goals we lost, especially the first one, just awful. But you can coach these mistakes out of the players. If it was like we just got absolutely ransacked, or they scored a worldie or something like that, there's not a lot of things you can do about those. But we're in a situation where we're now, you can just like, what did you do wrong, and coach that in as well. So yeah, I think that other than that, it was just a brilliant day, really, really enjoyed being a Rangers fan yesterday, I have to say. And in terms of the stats, it said we'd 57% possession, 11 shots, with 4 on target, and we scored 4 goals. So that's kind of cool, isn't it? And versus 4 shots with 3 on target, and they scored 2 of the 3 as well. So very high percentages there in terms of chance creation and chances taken as well. In terms of the referee watch, and I mentioned earlier for Steve McLean, it's the same here for Don Robertson. He had a terrible day yesterday. He had a bad day. I don't really like him as a referee too much, but I don't think he's in the Clancy class or anything like that. He's just an odd referee. He books Scove Olsen. I thought it was a penalty. I mean, there was enough contact there that could have been a penalty, and they were quite quick, but he couldn't get his card out quick enough to book him for diving fairly early on in the game as well. Misses a handball completely, like the boy keeps it on at the byline with his hand, and he's like, play on, that's cool. I mean, he got possession because of that, and then there was a handball that was actually in the box where the guy heads it. Literally, it couldn't have been any more clear of a handball, and VAR doesn't even look at that one. What's happening here? That's bordering on cheating. Then that's exactly what it's doing, and I don't like it. Like, it's beyond bizarre. So I think for that, he's getting a 3 out of 10 this week. And as I say, I'm going to be harder on these referees because this is too material, and it's too important. The mistakes that these guys are making collectively and individually. So yeah, 3 out of 10 for that. And there you go, Don Robertson. So next game is on Sunday, and that is the 22nd of February, and that's a 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time kickoff away to Livingston. So Livingston don't have their troubles to seek. They're looking. They almost took a point off of that mob a couple of weeks back there, and they didn't, and I think they got a draw on the weekend. So as Martindale settles himself into director of football duties, it looks like his replacement is doing relatively well. It's never an easy game. It's never usually an attractive game at Livingston. So we know what we need to do. We need to do whatever we need to do to get the 3 points and keep the pressure on there. Because what's that? I think Hearts are at home to Falkirk, and that mob have got Hibs, I think it is. So you're always looking there. I'm always looking now to see what's happening there. So yeah, it's going to be a wee bit different without a midweek game, but yeah, just a 1 game this week, so that's good. In terms of shout-outs for this week, the Narco Curry weekend it looked like it went fairly well. Andy was giving us wee bits and pieces of updates, and they were very, very happy with how it all went. And obviously the game yesterday, they're together for that sort of game is a brilliant thing, and that'll be an experience that everybody gets to enjoy. And I think they took a couple of slabs of tenants down there, so I'm sure it was quite the day overall, which is great fun. So that's magic, and well done to everyone for organising this. And just a reminder about Amanda and Jason Junior Ross, who are doing the London Marathon for the Royal British Legion coming up here in April, I believe it is. So I'll be mentioning that for the next few weeks as well. And a bit of a personal one here for my lovely sister Debbie, who is also the secretary of the Rangers Supporters Club of Calgary. A very happy birthday tomorrow. She is, well, I guess kind of impolite to say how old that she is, but I remember a few years back when we were celebrating our 50th. It was fun. It was a great time that we had then. I'll let you make up the numbers after that. But that's from Chloe and Andy and Callum and myself and Leo and all the family. Debbie, have an absolutely fantastic day. We actually went a wee bit overboard yesterday with the partying because we had a day out with Debbie and Andy. Erin and I did for her birthday. So kind of blaming Debbie for the way that I felt first thing this morning when I woke up, but feeling a wee bit better now. So that's great stuff. But happy birthday when it comes, Debbie. I love you, and I will see you later. In terms of the convention update, it's 114 days, so 2 weeks away from us going into double digits here, and 16 weeks until Nashville 2026. And we are very, very busy in the background. We're looking at maybe one or two final players. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. But I do have an announcement today that we have another guest joining us, and that is none other than Rangers historian David Mason is going to join us, and he is joining us to do essentially a show, like an educational show that is the story of Rangers. And if ever you've come across or met or seen David's stuff that he's done on behalf of the club, he's been at the club for a very long time, and he's just a class act. He holds himself with grace. He's such a good speaker, such a good ambassador for the club, and he has many a story to tell. And the great thing about this history of Rangers thing, I've often lamented, like, the more involved I got with NARSA, the more busy it was, so I didn't really get a chance to really kind of digest my role and the importance and prominence of NARSA and what Rangers means to me personally as a club and means to our association. And it's always something that I've thought of in terms of, I don't know my history well enough of the club, so I cannot wait to see what this show is going to be, and he's going to be putting this on, and we're going to build that in so that everybody gets a chance to see it as well. And he's been a great champion. He's actually been really good behind the scenes in terms of introductions to people and coming up with some brainstorming ideas and such. He's very much looking forward to it. My understanding is he's on a cruise right now, and even from the cruise he's been messaging with Alan and Brian and such to provide some words of wisdom and guidance and advice, and he gave us permission to announce his participation today as well. So really looking forward. And interestingly enough, by utter fluke, he just happened to be in Nashville last week as part of his holidays, and he was really bumming up the city, saying this is an absolutely dynamite place. Can't wait to see what the NARSA boys and girls put on in terms of a show. So yes, a lot of support there, and he's going to add a bit of gravitas and class to what it is we're doing, which is absolutely terrific. We're also working on the remainder of the itinerary. As I say, it's going to be around the World Cup, certainly on the Saturday for the Scotland game. But what I think we'll endeavour to do is give you an opportunity to know exactly what the itinerary is for the entire week. I'll do that for next week, right? That's my commitment to you, to know and understand what's coming each of the days, because there's a wee bit of a difference on this one in terms of what the nights are going to be in terms of the order. So we'll get you that information. And just another reminder that we do have 9-in-a-row legend Davy Robertson. We have Scott Nisbet. We have the legend that is Mark Walters coming along, sponsored by the Orange County Rangers Supporters Club, of course. And we have our resident MC, Mr. David Edgar from the Heart and Hand Rangers podcast, and Stuart Hay, who is, my understanding is literally at the time of recording, I'm a wee bit later recording today, it's 3:54 p.m. at my time, but my understanding is Stuart is on his way to Australia. He's taking the Journey Back show over to Australia, so he's a busy man, and he was up helping us on a call on Friday and such like that as well. So that's fantastic stuff's really coming together. Now, folks, we just need you folks to book your hotel and buy your tickets, and both of those are out for sale. You'll get the information on the NARSA website, and of course the golf as well. well. We're doing the Davy Cooper Memorial Golf Tournament Top Golf style. So for any skill level, we are going to do that. So please get your tickets booked for that as well, so we know how many are going. I say that out loud, and I need to book my tickets as well. So that's something I'm going to take care of a wee bit later on today. So yes, exciting times. Great to have David come along, and really, really looking forward to spending some time in his company. He's been very, very kind to NARSA over the years, and we've tried to try and figure out the best way to get him involved in the events. And over the years, we just haven't quite managed to make that connection to make it happen. So I know that he's been keen to come over as well. So it's absolutely brilliant that we get the opportunity to work together properly this year and give us that opportunity. I'm buzzing for that, actually. I really am. Really, really exciting. In terms of other NARSA business, we are continuing with the conversations with NARSA club presidents and secretaries where we can, just to get a wee bit of feedback and information. So my understanding is that Alan McWatt, president, and Gary Fleming, the vice president, are meeting with 4 clubs presidents this week alone, just to give us an opportunity to find out a wee bit more about where NARSA can support them. Good for those guys for keeping on at those. You can't do anything without any information. So these one-to-one dialogues are going to be very, very much valuable for hopefully for both parties, so that we can learn a bit more about them and them about us and do what we need to do. So yeah, we'll get on with that. In terms of communications for this week, the Gers guide was indeed up in the inside Ibrox. The Hearts game was there. The press conference after the game with Yusuf Chamiti was there as well, and the Rangers women's team highlights are there too, and that is highlighting their quarter-final Scottish Cup win over Partick Thistle. They won 8-0 to get to the semi-finals, and the semi-final draw was made a wee bit earlier today, and they've drawn against either Montrose or Dundee United in the semi-final, and Glasgow City play that mob in the other semi-final. So they're going to get a very difficult game in the final if they make it to the final. So hopefully they do, and we get an opportunity for more silverware for the women's team. On tomorrow, there is a feature on the Rangers website. I think it's on the YouTube channel on career paths for the footballing staff there, and a loan review. Not a lot Wednesday. Thursday is all the goals are featuring, I should say, not by, well, I guess they are kind of by Thomas Buffel, and he scored a lot of very important goals for Rangers back in the day, so I'm looking forward to seeing that one. Friday's a press conference for the Livingston game, and then there's also a feature on Marco Negri, and it's called Light Blues. And I mean, everyone who knows anything about Rangers back in those days, the start that he had for the first 6 months until Squashgate happened was absolutely incredible, and we were delighted to have him at our convention 2019 in Windsor, Ontario, and he was just a delight. Such an energetic guy, like the kind of demeanour that he had, the moody way that he went about his business at Rangers. He's the exact opposite in person, just a bubbly, entertaining, interesting guy. So I'm looking forward to seeing that one too. And then on Sunday, of course, we have the Livingston game, and Rangers women's team are playing Montrose, back to the league action now, and they're playing Montrose at Broadwood Stadium at home with a 4 o'clock kickoff. So an hour after the men's team, another clash. That's just what happens, I guess, these days. Just another reminder, if you haven't done so already and you are active on Instagram, please do go follow our new Instagram account, and it is NARSA Comms, NARSA COMMS, NARSA Comms, and we would love you to like and follow or subscribe or whatever it is you do on Instagram. I'm not a big Instagrammer, so I'm not sure. And on that very same topic, part of the planning we were doing, there was a planning call, as I mentioned, with some of the guys that are helping us organise Nashville 2026, and it's been recommended to us a fair few times actually, where someone said, "Why are you not active on TikTok? What are you doing?" Not being on TikTok, basically. And one of the things that I've always been like, who would create the content? Like, I'm not exactly 100% sure. I'm on TikTok for my coaching business. Please do go and follow at Gary Gillen Coaching there, and you'll get daily edutainment from me. But it's something that I think that we really should to try and take as much advantage of our platform as we can on behalf of the association and the club. And so this is an ask. If you are into TikTok and you would like to come on board and help us establish a TikTok presence from NARSA, please do get in touch, and we'll have a conversation. Or you know someone who's really good and would have the time and would like to spend a bit more time. They'll have some content each week from the podcast here, and we can figure out a plan of action to get more video content sent in. from the various clubs, because we could have had some brilliant content from yesterday, just someone videoing and doing, when we score the goals and get the winners and things like that. And there's a lot of content out there. And if that's something that's going to materially help us and help us create more of a connection with the people that are following us, we're absolutely more than happy to do that. So if you or anyone would be interested in coming along to help NARSA on the TikTok front, please do get in touch. You can email me directly. That's NARSA. No, it's not. That's NARSA Comms is the Instagram thing. Email me directly and I'll give you my email address. It's rangersscc@hotmail.com. rangersscc@hotmail.com. 2 S's and 2 C's in there, and we can have a blather and see if that's something that you can help us out with. But we do need some help in it. I don't want to sound like an old fart, but I think it's kind of like a young person's game. So we would be more than happy for anyone that is into that would be able to dedicate the time to doing it, to do it. And that would be fantastic as well. And this is my regular point where I take the opportunity to ask you if you could also like and subscribe over on our YouTube channel. It's growing up nice and steadily, so that's really, really helpful for us as well. So that's good news too, but please do that. That's it for this week, folks. Thank you very, very much as always for taking the time to tune in. I really, really do appreciate it. And on behalf of myself and the rest of the NARSA executive, thank you. Please do share it with someone that you think might enjoy it. And until next week, we get a wee breather midweek where we'll start to miss Rangers a lot, I'm sure, and then we'll build up some fever pitch excitement for next Sunday's game. And it's going to be very interesting and exciting all at the same time. 3 points, please, Rangers. Nothing less will do. Until next week, please do take care of yourself, okay? And all the very, very best. Follow.